Yesterday, they were talking about the world's largest weather anomaly that was going to be hit in Canada, and it did. It hit Quebec and Atlantic Canada. We'll get to some of the updates of what they're dealing with right now. It is not snow. No, it's warm and rain. That is the weather anomaly. We'll get that coming up in just a couple songs. Tyler Shaw, maybe this Christmas on Fresh Radio. London's official Christmas station, 103.1 Fresh Radio. Well, we do know that Mother Nature is unpredictable at times. Sometimes she is predictable, which we did know yesterday. They were talking about how Canada was going to see the world's largest weather anomaly yesterday. And this was happening in Quebec and Atlantic Canada. Pretty much they were saying with the low pressure systems, the winds and the warmer temperatures, more 12 degrees higher than seasonal, and the rainfall that they were going to get. It was just the biggest anomaly that they were seeing. So, I mean, why it happens, they explained it in meteorologist talk, and I just don't understand it. But we do know that in the Maritimes, there's more than 100,000 customers that are in the dark right now because of all the outages. Trees have been uprooted. They're over the power lines. It is going to take a while for them to clean things up and to get things started. And, of course, dealing with the weather conditions continuously. This is just unfortunate for our friends out east because, we're so close to the holidays, right? And these are the days that everyone's hustling and bustling and trying to get everything done. And now you're without power and stores are shutting down. It's a mess. So if you do have loved ones out east, I would probably just check in, make sure everyone is good. I know that they've been working hard to kind of clean things up, but as of this morning, I think they said over 100,000 customers in Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and Prince Edward Island are without power. It's Very Good Ladies and Sarah McLachlan with God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen on Fresh Radio. Our little mountain climber friend Sven is back for Sven's Snowy Surprise. Make sure you're tuned in to Fresh Mornings tomorrow morning for another chance to play. Listen for that cue, and if you hear it, be caller 10, and you will get to play. Pretty much our friend Sven is shoveling after a huge snowstorm, and you just have to tell him when to stop shoveling. And when he does that, a prize may reveal itself, and that prize could be yours. So Sven's Snowy Surprise, another chance for you to play, coming up tomorrow morning. Details at 1031freshradio.ca. Amazon definitely gets a lot of heat, workers' conditions and what they pay people. But obviously, it does take away from local business. But, a lot of us still use Amazon. Well, Amazon decided to do a competition with their employees. Pretty much you have to tell them why you are so financially hard done by. Who has the saddest story to win a prize? We will get to that story on the way. It's Matt Dusk and Cool Yule on Fresh Radio. London's official Christmas station, 103.1 Fresh Radio. It is the time of year where a lot of companies try to give back to their staff. Maybe it's a holiday party. Maybe there's some sort of draw, just some excitement and to try and help staff out. Well, Amazon wanted to do something very similar. They have this campaign where it was saying you could win a prize from their mascot. Was it Pecky? Is that his name? Pecky? Pessy? No, it's got to be Pecky. Pretty much you could tell Pecky your hardships. What's your situation at home? Why is this season so hard for you? What's sad? You want to have the saddest story. And if chosen, you would get some trinkets from Amazon, which, Amazon has spoken out about this. And they're like, yes, it was well-intentioned and we got a lot of great feedback from our employees, but there are a select few that are seeing this a different way. And the way that most people would see this is that this company is worth $10 billion, right? $10 billion. And you're paying your staff let's say $17 an hour, depending on which location. And some of the conditions, not so great for Amazon workers. I mean, to the point where they're picketing and then saying hey, tell us how poor you are. How broke are you? How is that going to affect your kids? Tell us your story, make us feel it. And then if your story is sad enough, then we might give you something. Maybe we'll help out. Maybe we'll give you a trinket or two. I have no idea what a trinket would be in this situation. So staff were like, you know what? We want better working conditions and a better wage. That's what we want. We don't want to share our sad stories about how you don't pay us enough. Just pay us better. And you don't have to give out trinkets. So, I see the intention. Poorly executed because obviously they weren't going to make everyone happy with this. They had to have known there's going to be negative backlash. And what does the internet love more? It's just negative backlash is what people love. right? So you put that out there, and then you get people like me being like, are you kidding? Amazon? They're giving trinkets, and they only pay their staff $17 an hour? Oh, man. But hey, at least they were trying to do something for their staff for the holidays, right? Does that count for something? It's Mannheim's Steamroller on Fresh Radio. Do you have any Christmas superstitions? I know a lot of us have superstitions about certain things. Maybe it's around Halloween. Maybe it's Friday the 13th. Maybe it's just, the walking under a ladder or breaking a mirror, those types of things. But around the holidays, is there anything that stands out for you as a Christmas superstition? Apparently, these are very common, including why you don't want to gift shoes to anyone around this time. And also, you should burn your tree after you are done with it. We'll get to those on the way. Right now, it's Gleecast, and we need a little Christmas on 103.1 Fresh Radio. London's official Christmas station, 103.1 Fresh Radio. I am not really a superstitious person, although sometimes things cross my mind, like breaking a mirror. Will that actually bring 7 years of bad luck? But what about Christmas superstitions? I didn't know people had them, but apparently these are very common for some. This went viral on TikTok, and a woman broke them down. She said, leaving a Christmas tree without any type of ornaments or decorations will attract evil spirits and negative energy. And going along with that, as pretty as your tree looks, having your tree visible from the outside of your house is actually considered extremely bad luck. You never want anyone from outside to be able to look into your window and see that tree that you have inside your house. This is going to cause a lot of financial problems. And honestly, it makes sense. I have financial problems. My tree is visible to the outside. So now it's all coming together. Holly can be used as protection against witches and dark magic. It's customary for people to purchase this and bring it into their homes around Christmas time. Never, under any circumstances, should you give shoes around Christmas time, because that is just going to ensure that the person you gift those shoes to will walk out of your life. Now, this video was so popular and people kept sending in more and more and more. Another one that was on the list, actually two more here quick, was a Christmas tree should always be burned once your time with it is done within your home. Those who simply just dump their tree outside are opening their home to unruly spirits and evil creatures. I have an artificial tree, so I'm not going to be burning it once I am done. And another one is that it is believed that a candle lit on Christmas Eve should be left burning all the way until Christmas Day. Those who choose to blow it out, or the candle just randomly goes out during the night, is considered a very bad omen for the household. I'm assuming if we talk to the London Fire Department, they're going to say, hey, if you're not around that candle, blow it out. Because a bad omen would be if your house went on fire. But hey, Christmas superstitions, do you have them? You can always join the show via text 519-643-1031. I'd like to hear about them. Jose Feliciano, Feliz Navidad on Fresh Radio. Well, now that we're seeing a little bit of the white stuff a couple days before Christmas, if you're looking to get in the festive spirit, you can just check out the amazing decorations that your neighbors have. We actually have our holiday lights display map, which actually pinpoints some of the biggest displays in the city. Still some time if you want to submit your display, your house onto this map, and you can kind of look at it, and whether you're going for a drive or you just see that there's a bunch of little candy canes, those are the markers, in your area, just grab a hot chocolate, throw a little Baileys or something in it, and then go for a walk around the neighborhood and look at all of the lights. It really is a fantastic season if you just kind of take some of the stress away from it. It's Christmas time is here on Fresh Radio. Jonathan Majors has been dropped by Marvel after his conviction. We got details coming up in Trending Now in just a couple songs. Leona Lewis, it's One More Sleep on 103.1 Fresh Radio.
Secretly, she's been playing Christmas music in her office since June. Toni Ross on 103.1 Fresh Radio.
London's official Christmas station, 103.1 Fresh Radio. It is time to look at what is trending now. Jonathan Majors has been dropped by Disney/Marvel. He was found guilty of 1 count of assault and 1 count of harassment, but was acquitted of 2 other counts in a split verdict. So once that came through, Disney and Marvel have decided to part ways with the actor, which I think most of us saw that coming. Wednesday, great show on Netflix, but looks like there is going to be be a spinoff in the works that is going to focus on Uncle Fester, which, you know what? He's probably up to some shenanigans and some mystery, so I am excited for that. Gwen Stefani is looking at potentially doing some new music in the new year, so keeping an eye on that. And Demi Lovato got engaged over the weekend. I know that story came out yesterday, but I'm not sure if we covered it in Trending Now. And that's Trending Now on Fresh Radio. Well, we know Barbie had a fantastic year. The soundtrack was absolutely amazing, including Ryan Gosling's I'm Just Ken. But is there a holiday remix coming out tomorrow? We got details on the way. It's Tyler Shaw. It's Christmas on Fresh Radio.
Hey, it's Toni Ross, and the Christmas season on 103.1 Fresh Radio is in partnership with Ronald McDonald House, Southwestern Ontario. Give the gift of Christmas. You can donate $10 right now. Text HOUSE to 45678.
London's official Christmas station, 103.1 Fresh Radio, one of the biggest movies, if not the biggest movie of the year, Barbie, and it starred Margot Robbie. Ryan Gosling played Ken, and he had his moment. Ryan Gosling, a.k.a. Ken, had the song I'm Just Ken, which was a hit. It is a great song, but even more exciting when it's going to get a little holiday remix done with Mark Ronson himself. Ryan and Mark actually posted something on Instagram, the two of them fighting over the volume or the mix of the song. And Ryan Gosling really wanted Ken's vocals to stand out even more.
No,
pretty good.
You handle this, Ken.
Good.
This
Good.
is you.
You've been doing good job.
So that remix is coming out tomorrow, and I'm excited. Hopefully, though, they did a better mix on it, because that up and down, not for me. But a little I'm Just Ken holiday remix with Mark Ronson, I'm here for it. It's Andrew Allen on Fresh. Well, not only do we now have words of the year, we have vibes of the year. Dictionary.com has listed and named their vibe of the year eras. We'll talk about why they chose that coming up in just a couple songs. Jan Arden, it's the most wonderful time of the year on Fresh Radio. London's official Christmas station, 103.1 Fresh Radio. We are getting near the end of the year, which is when, you got your Merriam-Webster word of the year. Dictionary.com has crowned the word eras as their vibe of the year. And I figured, what do you mean? Now we have a vibe of the year? Vibe was one of Dictionary.com's top lookups of the year, which led them to consider what word could best represent 2023's overall culture vibe. And they said, like vibe, the word era has been undergoing a similarly slangy evolution, referring to our moods, aesthetics, and life stages. And in 2023, we saw a real surge in the use of eras across pop culture. Now, of course, you had your Taylor Swift Eras tour, where she went through all of her Taylor Swift eras and albums. So essentially, this is referring to periods of time in a person's life characterized by something distinctive and noticeable, such as a particular emotional state, relationship, achievement, or interest. Like I'm in my mom era, or I was in a party era, or that's really all I was either a party or now mom, and neither, they cannot exist at the same time. My work era, my business era, like my boss B era, those types of things. So I guess people are using it more frequently now, like I'm in this era, I'm in my emo era. So that is why era is now Dictionary.com's vibe of the year. It's not even the word of the year. It is the vibe. So now not only do we get words of the year, phrases, terms, we get vibes, which I'm down with. It's Gleecast and Christmas wrapping on 103.1 Fresh Radio. I kind of wish Airbnb was a thing when I was like, well, I'm not going to say teens, like early 20s, mid 20s. I feel like maybe it was, and I was just out of the loop. Well, Airbnb is cracking down on New Year's Eve parties, and they kind of have their those things that are going to be popping up, those red flags. What those are, we will get to coming up in just a couple of songs. But Airbnb, wish it was my thing. It's Gene Autry. Here comes Santa Claus on 103.1 Fresh Radio. London's official Christmas station, 103.1 Fresh Radio. Airbnb is cracking down on parties. And can I just say, was Airbnb a thing when we were like in our early 20s, mid 20s? I feel like that would be a great party time. And just think of it, you and your friends go splitsies on this mega mansion and you're like, hey, we'll rent it out for 2 nights. We're going to, have a blast. We'll celebrate New Year's there. It's going to be awesome. We'll be living like kings and queens. Well, Airbnb has caught on to that. That has actually been what some people have done in the past. So if you were thinking that's the plan to go with, probably not going to happen. So some of the flags that are going to be put up, if you are renting a place over New Year's Eve for 1 night only, well, that's a red flag for them, especially if it's kind of like a party house, has enough bedrooms, enough space. Another one would be if it's like super expensive and you're only renting it for a night or 2 or even up to 3 nights. They think, okay, this person's got a group of people. They're going to split it. They're going to party it up for a few nights. Yeah, no, you're not going to get this house. Another red flag would be like, hey, you live in London and then you're renting a house in London. They'd be like, well, that seems a little suspicious. So these are just, trying to cut down on the parties and the damage done to the Airbnb hosts, like their house. And I get it, right? I mean, that's the smart thing to do. They noticed this over Halloween. They tried to put these like system red flags. Now, are there ways around it? Sure. You could rent that mansion for a week and Airbnb would be like, all right, have at her. But are you really going to drop that kind of cash on a place to party for 1 night? And I mean, most of us are at a point in our lives where, on New Year's Eve, just like, I mean, it's fun and it's exciting to think about it, to party. I mean, I've hosted parties, but I mean, when that clock even ticks like 11, I'm like, oof, is that ball going to drop? Is this a new year yet? I mean, I'm lucky if I make it to midnight at this point in time, but going back to my 20s, 25 even, oh man, if Airbnb existed, my friends and I could have, partied it up, but Airbnb, they got smart. So you're going to have to think of a different plan or rent out that mansion for an entire week, which financially probably doesn't make the most sense. It's Perry Como. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas on 103.1 Fresh Radio. Earlier on, we were talking about Christmas or holiday superstitions. There were some wild ones that people were talking about on TikTok. For instance, like you have to burn your tree after you are done with it, because if you don't, if you just throw it out there, essentially you're opening the door to like evil spirits. So you have to go and burn your tree. If it's a real tree, if it's an artificial one, please do not do that. And also on the same lines of the tree, make sure that it's not visible from the outside. This could be considered extremely bad luck and is going to cause a lot of financial problems, which I said that explains a lot for me because, well, the tree is definitely visible from the outside. Do you have any holiday or Christmas superstitions? I saw one comment come through on text where it's like, I have to pay all my bills before year end. What happens if you don't? Right? Like what happens? Usually it's like, if you don't do this will happen. I mean, it's always good. Stay on top of your bills over the holidays and don't rack them up. Don't go into debt for Christmas. But superstitions around the holidays, do you have any? Join the conversation on Facebook. It's Laurel on Fresh. So this time of year, obviously it gets a little busy, but have you made any time for yourself to have fun and go do something in our community? The reason I bring it up is there is an amazing show that is going to be at Budweiser Gardens tomorrow night. And I just checked. There are still a few tickets available. It is a Christmas rock story, a holiday circus spectacular, acrobats, aerialists, daredevils, and a rockin' soundtrack. So this is happening Budweiser Gardens tomorrow night at 7. And like I said, I just checked BudweiserGardens.com. There are still tickets available. I get it. The hustle and bustle, checking our list, checking it twice, making sure everyone else is taken care of. But have a little fun. If you can work it into your week, spur of the moment type thing. A Christmas rock story, a holiday circus spectacular is at Budweiser Gardens tomorrow night. It's Jack Soul. Can't wait till Christmas on Fresh Radio. We are seeing some amazing sunshine, although it is still quite cold with that wind. Tomorrow, though, well, I guess tonight we're going down to -4, still kind of windy, so still pretty cool. Tomorrow we are seeing the sunshine again, 2 degrees the high, 1 degree Thursday and Friday, and still looking at Saturday. Looks like in the daytime, morning, it does look like some freezing rain is in our forecast. Christmas Eve, 7 with sunshine. And Christmas Day, it does look like we are going to see some rain. 8 degrees, though, will be the high. So for whatever travel plans you have. And then Boxing Day, because that's obviously a big travel day as well. Looks like a little cloudy. 7 degrees will be the high as well. It's Ross Bell. Happy holidays to you on Fresh Radio. London's official Christmas station, 103.1 Fresh Radio. That is it for me, Toni Ross. Thank you so much for hanging out. I will be back in tomorrow morning starting at 10. Coming up with Scott and Kat, they have quite a few discussions, but Christmas traditions seems to be a popular topic with them. So we will get to that conversation in just a bit. Scott and Kat are going to take it on from here. Have a great afternoon. Emily, it won't be Christmas on Fresh Radio.